What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Smoking Tire Podcast. This episode is brought to you by the Beardscape. Yo, I straight up just got a message on Instagram from somebody that I swear said, I know you're talking about the Beardscape every week on the podcast. I didn't really think it'd be that good, but my girl got one for me as a present because she hears me listen to the podcast in the car all the time, and she knew about it. She got it. Whoa, you weren't kidding. This thing is a beast, and I'm telling you, folks, I'm not lying. Maybe it's time for you to upgrade. Do you have a crappy beard trimmer, one with dull blades that pull out hairs, maybe a battery that doesn't work so good anymore, maybe a long cable that's always get tangled, clunky to bring with you on the road? Listen to me here. The Brio Beardscape, they've got you covered. This thing has a powerful motor. It's got blades that are made of ceramic, not stainless steel, so they stay sharper, longer. It takes less maintenance. It has a battery display, so you know exactly how many minutes of shaving remain, and the battery itself is huge. It lasts, for me, a year. If you shave a lot, it wouldn't last a year, but it lasts like multiples of times longer than other shavers. I love the Beardscape, and I talk about it all the time. Go to brio4life.com. That's BRIO, the number 4life.com, and use code SMOKING at checkout to get the best price on the internet for the best shaver on the internet. The Brio Beardscape, folks, it's the jam. Brio4life.com. Use code SMOKING at checkout. Now, do you drive a modern forced induction car? And what I mean is, does your car have a supercharger or a turbocharger on it? If it's a modern car, odds are decent that it does. Race Chip is here, and they can improve both the fuel economy and the horsepower of your turbo or supercharged car. They're made in Germany, engineered, built, and tested on the Autobahn, the dyno, and the racetrack, with more than 30 dyno runs per vehicle and frequent lapping. For over 10 years, Race Chip has been headquartered in Munich and Stuttgart, the heart of the German automotive industry. A Race Chip plug-and-play installation just takes 15 minutes, and there's plenty of videos available on YouTube, and all the engine protection mechanisms remain active because it doesn't modify the ECU itself. It's very easy also to return your car back to stock. It's TÜV approved in Germany, which is much stricter than the US. There's up to a 5-year warranty and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Give them a follow on Instagram at Race Chip Tuning. There's the word chip is there twice. Race Chip Tuning, and YouTube and Facebook. Or if you want to order, go to racechip.us. That's RACECHIP.us, and use code SMOKINGTIRE to get 10% off your order. Code SMOKINGTIRE gets you 10% off, limited to one Race Chip per customer. They are simply faster. Lastly, check engine light comes in your car. What are you going to do about it, folks? The first thing you should do is get yourself a Blue Driver Pro scan tool. Blue Driver can read all the computer systems in your vehicle, tell you what the problem is, and suggest solutions from a database of millions of ASE verified fixes. Then you can fix the problem yourself or head to the garage armed with knowledge. Either way, you are in control. Plus, Blue Driver can do so much more than just read codes. You can view live telemetry data from your vehicle, read freeze frame and mode 6, or do a smog checkup, as well as get up to date on recalls and service bulletins, plus much more. That's why Blue Driver is the best-selling scan tool on Amazon, folks. Don't just take our word for it. Check out the thousands of positive reviews on Amazon. Reviews written by real people who saved a ton of time and money by using Blue Driver. For a limited time, take advantage of our special Smoking Tire offer. Visit bluedriver.com/TST. That's bluedriver.com/TST to get 10% off the Blue Driver Pro Scan Tool. Don't let your car troubles be a mystery again. Get Blue Driver today at bluedriver.com/TST. All right, on this episode of the show, we have one of my favorite comedians in studio, Chris Porter. This dude has two hilarious specials, both available on Amazon Prime, Ugly and Angry and A Man from Kansas. I've seen them both. They're both hilarious. I see this dude at the Comedy Store all the time. And unlike a lot of the other comics that come on this show, Chris actually knows a lot about cars. And so rather than spending too much time talking about comedy, we actually spend most of the time talking about cars. All right, so it's comedian Chris Porter on the Smoking Tire Podcast.
What up, folks? Smoking Tire Podcast on time today. It is vibrato. Yeah, it is my pleasure to have Chris Porter in studio.
Hello.
What's up, man?
I'm just driving to the west side, which I don't do often.
Thank you for
you're
making
quite
it for
welcome.
us.
Yeah.
I'll do the intro of your bio. I do that shit at home
For
with
sure.
the ads. But
Okay.
when I first saw you on stage at the Cellar, it was one of the funniest 15 or 20 minute sets. Not the Cellar, excuse me, Comedy Store.
Comedy Store. Yeah.
And then I saw Ugly and Angry, and holy shit, was that a fucking great hour.
Oh, well, thank you.
One of my favorite specials of all
Thank
time.
you. The first ones are always the good ones because you have 6 years to work on it.
Yeah.
It's pretty rock solid, and then there's a timetable.
I've heard comics talk about that, where it's this first one, you got that's your whole life's work.
For sure. Bands are the same way.
Yeah.
That's why the first album's always amazing, and then the second album, they're like, we had a year. We had a year. We had 7 years on the last one.
Oh man! And so I saw The Man from Kansas this morning. And it was very good.
Oh, thank you.
A Man from Kansas, not The Man from Kansas. I apologize.
Either way,
I watched this today. Hi then, hi now.
Very cool. You go to the treadmill high.
Elliptical. Yeah, I get in the zone.
Sure, that makes sense.
I get in the zone. Not crazy high.
Yeah, but a nice little
bit.
buzz on. So by the time it wears off, the runner's high kicks in.
Mm-hmm.
I used to do that.
Going?
Yeah, now I do CrossFit. And
Are you seriously?
I'm putting too much weight above my head to be stoned.
You got to focus, right?
Yeah,
You got to be
yeah.
real. And you start to lose form real quickly.
Because you got to move fast. And
You got to move fast, and you have to be very in tune with your body, which you think you would be when you're high, but you're totally not.
No.
And so you have to, if you don't keep correct form, you can fuck yourself up. Are we cussing on this?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, you can fuck yourself up real good.
Well, you fucked yourself up on the way to fucking yourself up today. Chris comes in going, I crashed on my electric skateboard, and
which is the greatest thing I've ever bought.
Yeah.
I'm down to driving once a week.
Yeah.
And because I live in Hollywood, I can skate to the clubs and all that stuff.
That's awesome. Can you check it at the coat check?
I just put it behind the bar.
Oh, that's
Hell
awesome.
yeah. That's awesome.
Set it behind the bar and go.
That's great.
And but yeah, today a bump snuck up. A bump that's been there every time I've ridden there. And it snuck up on me and I speed wobbled and it was gone.
What model board is it?
It's the Halo board. It's an amazing board.
Yeah.
And it's made and the company's great too because I fucked it up. I separated the truck from the housing.
Uh-huh. When you crashed, you mean?
When this happened a while ago. Well, actually that time I didn't crash. I kept my feet. I was like, "What up?" And
like an airplane landing with no landing gear.
it was more like a Naruto run, just but with arms flailing. And I sent it in. I mean, I had to pay to fix it because it was my fault. But they got it all set up. And they fixed stuff they didn't need to fix. So
Cool.
They were real cool. But
What's the one that Tim has that?
His is a little different. His has more of like a scroll wheel for your thumb. That's a control. It's kind of like a trigger, but man, the thing goes 35.
Dude, our homie Chris has
it's
the
fun.
fastest, sketchiest fucking e-board recovery ever. It goes, I think, 25 to 26 miles an hour.
Oh, okay, that does 24.
Do you go 24?
Yeah, I was doing about 18 when I bid it today.
Fuck.
Yeah, and because there's a speedometer. So you're like, and man, this was the first time I was alert through the entire crash. I saw my glass. Every other time, it's just been a blur.
Yeah.
This time, I saw my glasses fly off. Felt the asphalt scrape against my butt.
Do you helmet?
No, I saw a dude on a bird scooter with a helmet, and I was like, I'd rather fucking die.
I know. I live in Venice, which is mobility scooter capital of the universe.
For sure.
They actually had been a major crackdown because they were allowed to ride all over the place, and it was fucking yard sailing left and right.
yeah.
I mean, it was incredible, really. But they've banned them. They like geo-fenced them off the bike paths. And so now they're riding them on the street.
Oh,
and
which
the
is-
street is kind of fucked up, and there's cars, and it's like just a disaster. But like,
Yeah.
you got to sign that little fucking checkbox waiver bullshit. But I
you-
have
have you seen
never
this
seen
thing?
someone serious.
I saw a dude on one of these in San Francisco,
The
and
unicycle.
He was wearing a downhill mountain bike helmet and a textile motorcycle jacket
Like
and a
in a
backpack,
tuck.
and he was like 45 years old, like going
Yeah.
to work, but he was dressed like he was about to go ride motocross.
If I had one of those, I'd wear the Rocketeer helmet, that brass shit with the rudder.
And those are the ones, actually, I'm going to be honest, especially in California, those are kind of the ones to get with the big wheels because the roads here are jacked.
Dude, a bird scooter on the cracked roads is the shadiest thing.
Oh,
It's like a 3-inch wheel.
Yeah, you're gone.
I had to do a Naruto run on a big one, and I managed to run it out, and someone on a restaurant gave me a little standing O. It was
Because
nice.
those are the best videos,
Oh, yeah.
especially when you see the older dudes just eat a giant dick.
Just a full face. And then
Those
my
are the ones that
brother-in-law,
are those are the ones to get if you live around
the
here.
one wheel. My
Yeah.
brother-in-law commutes to work on one of these things, and he loves
They're
it.
fun.
You
Yeah.
look like a giant douche, as we all do.
Especially
if we're
look
being
at
honest.
this poor fucking person's helmet. What has happened with that helmet? It's not
It's
good.
a trash can.
It's an
It
Oscar
does.
the Grouch
It looks
model.
like it was a colander.
like
a-
in Top Gear where they go to Vietnam and wear the colander helmets.
That's
It's like that
hilarious.
shit. Oh man,
Top Gear's. I miss that so much. I miss the original so much.
Yeah.
I wish Jeremy hadn't punched a dude.
Although I kind of felt like I started to feel like they did every possible joke.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to say they jumped the shark because they're obviously the best in the world at this gig.
For
but,
sure.
God, they had a fucking 10 years of like meat.
Yeah.
And then it was like, okay.
Then it got
we're
super
doing-
overproduced.
Yeah.
But like around 2012, 2013, that
On
it's
fire.
So great.
On fire.
And even Grand Tour, it's so overproduced, but the car stuff is real. When they do
They
the
know
car-
how to shoot cars. I mean,
They
when
really
you
do.
when you throw money and talent at shooting cars,
Yeah.
you're like. And Zach works on a produced show, Drive on NBC Sports, airing.
We got an episode up this Sunday, October 6th.
Nice.
All about high performance EV stuff.
Have you seen this show, Chris? Drive on NBC Sports, and then Proving Grounds. Proving Grounds you'd probably like because it's an 80s sort of the 80s car show styled theme, like silly Comparo show out in the desert. It's
Oh,
pretty
okay.
fun.
Yeah, I like the. I was at the Comedy Store one night, and a guy was talking to an audience member, and he was like, "I do sound," and this was before they had left the BBC. He goes, "I do sound for this BBC show." He goes, "I do the music for Top Gear," and the guy didn't know who it was, and I was in the back freaking the fuck out. Like I was like, "That's the guy that does the music. Holy
Wow.
shit! I
Yeah.
want to meet that guy."
Yeah.
And then I got high and forgot about it. But yeah, it was. pretty great.
When a show like that, it's like you want to meet the fucking key grip. Like I don't care what he does. Tell me everything.
Just somehow get me there so I can watch one of these things go down.
Yeah, yeah. You know who I know from that show is Richard Porter, who is the script editor, who's a great person to know because he wrote a lot of the great jokes.
Yeah.
And like all those like things about the Stig, like the some say shit, he wrote every fucking one of those.
Oh, really?
And yeah, he's the funniest guy ever to have on the podcast. He's
Oh,
great.
that's
When
great.
he comes over from England, we have him a lot. He's
That's
super
awesome.
fun. His
Yeah.
site is sniffpetrol.com, and he's a really funny writer.
I love shows about cars.
Wait, dude. So I found out, like, you commented on an Instagram post of mine that you were jealous of my life. Meanwhile, I'm jealous of your life.
Yeah, no, my life. You don't know my life if you're jealous of it
you
because
know
I
mine
go
if
to
you're jealous of
fucking Indiana and tell jokes next to a Chuck E. Cheese. Meanwhile, you're driving the newest Ferrari around some racetrack.
That's true. But I do
And then you
stay
go
in that
home.
same town that you're
Yeah.
talking
Oh,
about. That's
yeah.
where the racetracks are. So once I go home from the racetrack, it's the same as once you going home from the comedy club where you're not famous, there's no more Ferraris, and you're in the same fucking Motel
Oh, for
6.
sure, I got.
But I just love hanging out with comics, and so I'm happy you're here. That's
I'm
all.
glad to be here, man. Yeah, I love my grandpa and my uncles were mechanics, and had a service station.
Oh, really?
That is now a taco joint.
Oh, how depressing.
But yeah, so that I remember I had a 1970 Cutlass convertible in my formidable teen years.
yeah.
And I remember taking it. By this time, my uncle had left and gone to another service station.
This is in Kansas,
This
right?
is in Kansas. And I took it to him, and he was like, "Oh, we're going to fix it." And by we, I mean, you and I are gonna I had to put new bushings on this thing and all this stuff. And the coolest part was I got to use the pneumatic gun.
Oh yeah, which is like an extension of your dick.
Oh, so much is. I was like, let me change the tire. Let me rotate the tires again. Just for funsies.
Yeah, impact guns are the best. And you know what? He was even any air tool. I mean, really compressed air is the best force for power.
You feel like a superhuman because you can just, you're like, oh, I need more torque, and just one finger and it's off.
Can I tell you the best feeling ever with compressed air is plugging in a race car that has air jacks.
Oh,
you know how air jacks work? Like they're literally, you plug in the fucking air hose and the car goes and hops off the ground because it's got pistons in it that fucking stand it up like a pogo stick.
Most race cars have them just because they're lighter. Not for when the car pulls in just to get tires changed. Yeah. Usually they'll just jack it up really quick. But if they need to work on it, it's a really light system that they can use. And they just plug it in and it goes. Yeah. And then they put these aluminum stanchions underneath it as a just in case.
Oh, okay.
It's really cool.
Yeah, but it's just a compressed air piston, and then they pull the hose out and it just drops down and they're gone.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's super, super cool. It's the kind of thing you. Oh, there you go. Here's the M3 right there. Yeah, see, look, there's a car. You just plugged in the hose, and this thing's just standing on these little posts.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's the dopest shit ever.
I had a Lincoln Mark 8.
That's not it.
Did you really? That had an air ride system in it.
Dude, those Mark 8s were rad. Those 32 valve Mark 8s.
That was the coolest car I ever owned.
It was the future.
It really, and I remember I bought it in 03. Yeah. And it was the Diamond Anniversary Edition.
Yes.
So it was the 96 maybe. And you got in it, and you were in your kick-ass living room.
Yes.
And everything was just molded around you like a cockpit.
It was all swoopy and curvy.
Oh, and it just sat on the road. And compared to the 94 Astrovan I traded in for it got such great gas mileage.
Well, it had actual aerodynamics. The Astrovan was driving a doorstop.
Oh, what, dude? If you had a headwind, you were fucked. But if you had a tailwind, you were like, I'm getting 30 miles to the gallon.
You just open the rear doors like a sail.
You do. I haven't had the engine on for 3 miles.
Dude, I worked in high school at a fucking Lincoln Mercury dealer. Yeah. And we took one of these motherfuckers in on trade, and it was kind of beat, and we just kept it as a runaround car. And so I spent a lot of miles running to the DMV and back in this thing. Ooh, the painted grill. Zach found a good one.
Oh, dude.
These were kind of rad.
I saw a custom one. Right? They turned into made a convertible.
Oh, really?
It's ugly as shit.
Do you remember the very famous early YouTube video that had the power door that slid into the bottom?
No.
Okay, so imagine the whole side of the car. Yeah. You could probably find a GIF of it, Zach. The whole side of the car. Like a garage door. Here it is. Sliding door concept in it. We could probably play this as fair use, right? Watch this shit. What? Yeah, it lessens in structural rigidity.
Oh, for sure. That thing's made out of saran wrap.
But it's cool.
Wait, which BMW was it that had something similar where it just slid down?
The Z1. BMW Z1. It had a plastic body and doors that just dropped straight down.
Wow, that's
We didn't get those. They were in Europe only, but you can import them now because they're 25 years old and you can import 25-year-old shit.
Oh, really?
And they're fucking expensive. These things were absolutely worth pennies until you were able to import them to America, and then they doubled in price.
Really?
Yeah. There's a reasonable amount of money to be made if you make wise investments in cars right when they're about to be importable into the U.S. because the prices always take a nice big hop.
Oh, okay.
So that's a weird. Underneath that Z1 is basically an E30 BMW, like the boxy one from the 80s.
Oh, okay.
And they pretty much just put this roadster body on it, and the body's actually made of plastic. Originally, the concept was designed to be able to swap bodies, if you can believe that shit.
Really? Like a Hot Wheels car or something?
They were very optimistic in the 90s.
Yeah. Man, that was good coke back then.
Isn't that what...
You can picture John DeLorean driving that going, fuck!
Tired of buying new cars. I'll just switch cars, bodies.
The door doesn't go down far enough. It's okay. Just climb over. Come on.
There's this...
gotta get more coke.
There's always this weird, conglomerate of people that think modular cars are something we want.
Oh, for sure.
As if our fucking condo has room for a spare body.
Wasn't Glickenhaus trying to do that recently, or a couple years ago was talking about it?
Well, he had modular engines.
Which I maintain is far more complicated than anyone who can afford it wants.
Yeah.
Modular engines.
Yeah. So, so this dude, Jim Glickenhaus, who's like a fucking, he wants to be Enzo Ferrari. And he's got the loot too. So
all right.
He built his own race car, like the chassis and like everything, right? And he really wanted to have a car that you could drive to the track, race, and then drive home. And his idea for that was to have one engine that was a street engine and then one engine that was a race engine. And you would drive the car to the track, put it up on, here's the car, put it up on these air jacks, drop the entire rear subframe with the engine and gearbox, roll that shit out, boop, boop, put the new one in, 10 bolts or something, go racing with the engine, swap it back, and
what's the turnaround on that? Time-wise?
I think the engine, that idea ended up being scrapped, and they found one engine that you could do everything with. But that was the original plan, but it didn't happen.
Because his car is very fast. It's very legitimate. Like, he's not some crazy pie-in-the-sky dude who doesn't know what he's doing. But this idea is like, you go home like, oh, you want to take a bath tonight? All you do is take out the floor, slide in your bath thing, turn the bath on, and then when you're done, go back to shower.
Yeah. Well, when you said modular engine, I picture like you open to the hood, and you're like, oh, it's a 4-cylinder? We'll just slap 2 more cylinders on it.
Well, that actually, in sort of a subverse way, the Jaguar supercharged V6s that they're using, Jaguar Land Rover, they have a 3-liter supercharged V6 and a 5-liter supercharged V8. They are literally the same engine block with 2 extra holes drilled into it.
Really?
Yeah. So
they're smaller.
Yeah. So any engine any vehicle they make that fits the 6 will also fit the giant supercharged 8 because it's exactly the same size.
Wow.
Yeah. There's
but it's so much more powerful, I would assume.
Oh yeah. You go from like 380 to 550 horse. Yeah.
Wow.
It's a big difference. Yeah. All right. Wait. So you're fucking let's go back to Kansas.
Okay.
Because I want to know why you are into cars and how you're into cars.
Well, just being kids, I grew up in like rural suburbs of Kansas City, and like cars were kind of a symbol of whatever the fuck, and we weren't even into
got you out of your house kind of thing.
Yeah, and we weren't even into like good cars. Like I remember my dad got a Lumina, and we were me and my friends were jazzed. We were like, it's got a 3.1 V6 in it.
Was it the Euro? Like
it was
Z34?
the Euro. You're goddamn right it was. I don't think it was a Z34, but it was definitely a Euro.
Z34 was the shit.
I remember it had the 2 6x9s in the back, and we would just think those were bumping.
Dude, I confess I was a Lumina fan. Was it a 4-door?
It was a 4-door, but it was also on Days of Thunder.
Yes, the rental car scene.
The rental car.
Lumina versus Taurus.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Now I know that you can't drive this car to dinner. You know that I can't drive this car to dinner.
That's a great movie.
It's a fucking amazing movie. I love it. There's a dude out there because there's vintage they race vintage NASCAR like for fun.
Oh, okay.
You can buy a used NASCAR for nothing.
Really?
Nothing, especially if it never won any major races and doesn't have like historical value.
Provenance,
like Dale Earnhardt's NASCAR is expensive, but like some fucking nobody's NASCAR. So you can buy that and then just go racing in it. And,
oh, wow.
Yeah, like amateur vintage NASCAR racing. It's like a thing people do. And there's a dude racing the movie car. I shit you not.
Really? No way.
The mellow yellow car is racing. And the City Chevrolet car is racing.
Oh, that's awesome!
Yeah, you could find it. Vintage
good to know
NASCAR.
They're still out there, making it happen.
Not only that, the vintage NASCAR guys, they run on road courses, so they turn right and left. So they have a better time.
And the guy that owns the mellow yellow car also fucking Nicole Kidman, which is awesome.
Strange coincidence
with the car.
That car fucking rules.
So yeah, I just remember my first car was an 81 Honda Prelude. I washed it every week in my driveway. My mom said I could get a new car when that one died. It wouldn't die. That engine's probably still running.
That's a very funny and evil joke to play on someone.
Yeah,
you can get a new car when you kill this Honda.
Yeah.
Fuck!
Oh, man. Is this it? One of these?
Oh, yeah. It was more like the silver one, but I had the wood bike rack on the fucking...
Oh, there on the trunk there?
Yeah. Because I would use wood grain polish to shine the fucking...
Polish the teak.
I would.
And, were you like, it has teak just like a Swan 50 yacht?
Wow. There it is.
That's a trend I'm glad is gone.
Yo, the Honda Museum has one of those that I shit you not has like 5,000 miles on it.
Really?
Yeah. It's mint.
This thing, and that thing ran forever. It probably still ran. And so then I think I got the Cutlass. And then when I went on the road, I traded the Cutlass in for the minivan. And then
did you live in the van? Did you sleep in the van?
I slept in it a couple times, but I didn't live in it.
Okay. It was just a practical choice?
It was just, it was more about, my parents would trade me that for the Cutlass.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, fine.
When did you go on the road? How old were you?
I was 24.
Okay.
So 17 years ago.
Did you ever attempt to do anything else?
No.
Okay.
Only because, I was 19 when I started. And then it kind of took over. And by the time I was 24, I'd quit college.
Yeah.
I was 35, 36 when I started to think about maybe doing something else. And I realized I had no other employable skills. Unless I wanted to bartend or start at the bottom at some hotel and hope to work my way. I was just looks like I got to keep doing this really awesome job some more. And but now I'm super happy and feel lucky. You just go through phases, I guess.
And you shit on LA and you're special, but you live here, right?
Yeah, and I don't really shit on LA as much as I just shit on hipsters.
Which is okay. But they have good taste in some things.
Yeah.
They're an easy target, though.
They're easy. I mean, I like their beers.
Yeah.
But I'm not really into their food. I think it's just complicated for no reason.
Sometimes it's good.
I also don't like their car choices.
Like what? Like just
the Prius?
Well, that's just a bland vehicle.
Yeah.
Although I'm
driving a Volvo C70.
Hey, rolled up in a C70 convertible like the Saint. White Boss.
Whoa.
Yeah,
so I was wondering what Chris was going to roll up in. I did not expect a C70 convertible.
I want to get rid of it, but I'm not. I don't know. I just keep putting money because I paid for it cash.
Yeah.
And so I've never had a car payment, and so it breaks every 8 months. It costs me $700.
Yeah. You know what? Warranties are pretty sweet, and new cars that don't break all the time are pretty fucking sweet.
But I also drive once a week, so it's hard to justify that expense.
Yeah. No, you should get something cool and fun if you only drive once a week.
Well, and this thing is fun. The C7, it's the convertible. The sound system in it is. I got the top of the line sound system. It rocks. That's all I need.
Cool.
Really.
Yeah.
It is fun to drive when it doesn't break down. But yeah, I want a Cadillac if we're being super honest.
Okay.
Ooh, which one?
I mean, I'm probably going to be boring and get the fucking crossover.
Oh yeah, well, that's okay.
But also, if I can get a good deal on one of the sedans,
that'll
that'd
hook
be
you
nice.
up.
Yeah.
Do you drive when you go on road gigs? Do you drive?
No. I fly and then I'm driven around. So I rent cars.
Oh yeah.
And then I just rent I try to get an SUV or something. I was in Seattle and I was renting a car and the guy was foreign. And I love it when they pronounce car names.
Yeah.
And he was like, we have the Chrysler or the Cherokee. and I was like, say that one more time. And he goes, the Cherokee. I was like, I will take the Cherokee.
Put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable, right? Oh, that's good. What? So yeah, what is your just a whatever SUV? You don't have I always get a Kia Sedona.
No.
Sedona's the minivan. But.
I like. There was a car I didn't like. Well, actually, the Cherokee. Was awesome. I didn't like the advanced cruise control.
Oh yeah.
I don't like the lane thing.
The lane keep assist.
Yeah, because it fights you.
I know.
You're like, man,
and it makes the car
this.
do things that you don't expect it to do. I just had one that was incredibly sketchy feeling.
Yeah.
Where it was grabbing the wheel out of my hand. What did I just drive? What was it? What have I driven? It wasn't a P. Cody car. What did I drive before that? The M5. The BMW M5 was ripping the fucking wheel out of my hand.
Same system in the 850, and it was very aggressive.
Yeah, you got to find that lane keep assist button and disable that shit. Yeah.
And also,
driving
are the M series as great as Jeremy Clarkson makes them out to be?
They were at the time he was talking about them.
Oh, okay, yeah, but they've fallen off.
They have grown rapidly more technologically advanced. They are crazy fast, but they are more distant from a driving perspective.
Oh, okay.
2003-4 is peak BMW's ultimate driving machine.
For sure.
Probably, right?
And that's that really cool body style that they only had for 2 years, right?
I'm sorry, say what?
They had a really cool body style.
Yeah, the E39 M5 was 2000 to 2002 was the really, really pretty one. And then they had the V10 one after that with the crazy engine that never quite worked properly.
Okay.
Burned a lot of oil, but it went really fucking fast.
All right.
That one, this is the pretty one, the E39. That's usually what we're talking about when we talk about like the awesomeness of M5s. That like that?
No, I think it was the redesign right after that.
The one after that with the V10, yeah,
where they all got redesigned.
Yeah,
they had a little bit more of a. They had a little bit more of a bubblier design.
Yeah,
and then they kind of shaved that off in like 05, 06. Yes, that's my favorite BMW.
Well, you could afford that, except that you'd be dealing with that same $700 every 6 months kind of thing, except it'd be $1,500 every 6 months. Yeah, these are really expensive to run.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They go fucking fast. Like, that car doesn't look like much, but that's a 200-mile-an-hour car.
Really?
100%.
That's the M5?
Yeah, I've personally done 200 miles an hour in those cars. In fact, that was the first car I ever did 200 miles an hour.
But you do 200 miles an hour in a car that's coming up on 17 years old.
I mean, if it's well maintained and has good tires,
200 miles, you can do it?
Okay.
You just need to get it checked first, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't buy that on Craigslist and then hit 200 on the way home. Except for the lulls on the gram. I mean, otherwise, you know.
The door, one of the doors came off. That's good, right?
But the V10s, they go through a lot of oil.
Okay.
They burn oil, and those brakes, like the pads and rotors, are like $2,000. Like, it's just the consumables are crazy expensive. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's like buying a used spaceship. Like, you know, it costs $100 million to develop, and if you get it for 20, the development of those parts still costs $100 million. Like, I have an 02 BMW, and I bought it for $15,000, but when it came out, it was like $50,000. So I have to deal with the repercussions of a $50,000 car that I got for $15,000.
Okay.
Yeah, no free lunch, unfortunately.
Right.
Yeah. You know, but you know the difference is these are basically bottomed out in terms of price.
Yeah.
So you could pick one up, and then you could probably sell it for, especially if you're only driving once a week, you can probably sell it for the same amount that you paid for it. So the only real cost is the maintenance and your insurance, and it's not depreciating also.
Oh, okay.
So that's the good news. If you wanted one of those, they're not particularly expensive.
They're fast.
And they're fucking fast.
So fast.
But, you know, they're expensive.
They're expensive, yeah.
Yeah, big regular shit.
Also, V10. That seems complicated.
That has a lot of
real
things.
complicated.
A lot of spark plugs.
Yeah.
A lot of injectors. Yeah.
And I'm also thinking about maybe just buying, because I almost traded in the Volvo for like a 92 Blazer.
I love it.
But or no, it was a Bronco. It was like the big
like an
one.
OJ
it was
Bronco?
jacked up. Yeah, but not the right color scheme.
Yeah.
And even had the foot rails and everything. It looked real Kansas is what it looked.
But also that's looking real Venice right now. Broncos are super hot around here.
But also you can work on them.
Yeah.
Like I said, I had to fix my own car, even though my relatives had a station. I just had a place to do it.
Yeah.
So, especially with the Cutlass, that thing fouled a plug every 3 weeks.
It wasn't a diesel or something, was it?
No, it was just didn't have real good compression in one of the cylinders. So
so oil's just blasting through.
Yeah, and you just be like fuck. Pull
You
up.
keep a 12-pack in the trunk.
Oh, I absolutely did. And also, you also had to have oil in the back too, because it burned. Obviously, it burned a shit ton of oil. So,
what's the worst? Is that the worst car you ever had, or was the van?
The van was the worst. But to be fair, it was super reliable. Like it drove really fucked up.
But it drove the same fucked up.
I got to Georgia one time, and the car just starts shaking, and I'm like, I just got to get to Naples, and so that was like still 9 hours away, and the car. I couldn't figure out what it was. Probably the fuel. It was something I couldn't fix on the road for sure. But it was acting like a fuel filter would die at low RPMs or any time you got down to like at a stoplight or something. So I'd pop it into neutral, and it would stay running, and then I'd have to drop it down to drive. Well, one time it slipped past neutral, went into reverse, shredded the linkage. Oh, so now it's a manual. I'd have to shove it down to low, and you'd hear it go, and it would kick in, and then I'd get it up to 2, up to D, up to overdrive, and then
back you have to go all the way back down,
and then,
or you go straight to neutral.
I would go to neutral and then start it over. Well,
it's like an old telephone. You go to 9 and then to 0.
I get the engine fixed. But they're like, transmission's like $2,000. And I was making maybe $500 a week at the time.
Yeah.
And that's before expenses. And so they're like, it might get you home. Because I was like, yeah, I drive this thing to Kansas City. They're like, we don't know. It might make it. I was like, I don't have any other choice at this point. And so I flew my girlfriend down, and I realized I go, you can't drive this car because it didn't have a tack.
Yeah.
So you would basically have to, when you're on the highway and on cruise, you would have to kind of feel for the car getting ready to downshift.
Yeah.
And then you'd have to take control and shift it down to D and downshift for it. Because if it tried to downshift itself, it went into neutral.
Oh, no.
And then you were fucked. 22-hour drive straight.
Come on.
Did the whole thing. Just gagat. She slept for the last 7 fucking... I was so pissed. She slept for 3 hours. We got to St. Louis. I go, you've been sleeping this whole time. I just need you to help me stay awake. She was like, I'll be fine. As soon as we got in the car, back. And I was hallucinating. But yeah, it was still like, I've never been more in tune with a car than I was during that trip. But yeah, that was a rough...
I bet you could have done another 20,000 miles like that. Once it gets to a certain level of broken, it kind of stays there for a while.
For sure. And
what ended up being wrong with it?
Oh, I had to completely rebuild the transmission.
Oh, yeah. Did you rebuild the transmission?
Yeah, because I didn't have any other options at that point.
I heard that's like sorcery. Like normal mechanics who can do a lot. If you say, "Can you do transmissions?" Like, nope. It's like specialty shop.
Oh, absolutely.
Lots of parts inside. It's a whole different focus.
I blew the transmission on the fucking Volvo heading up to Sunnyvale.
This one?
Yeah, and I called the guy who's like, man, those transmission. He's like, you probably didn't blow the transmission. Those things are like cast iron. They're good. And I got it back there. He's like, nah, you blew the transmission. It's going to be $4,100.
Oof, that's a big one.
Dude, that was a tough one.
That's a tough one.
That was it. But you were just like...
You're committed at that point.
You're committed at that. You're pot committed.
At least, and then you need to use the trans warranty. If they give you the 30,000 mile warranty, you go, well, I got to drive at 30K.
Yeah,
Get
no,
my warranty
they don't
worth.
give you no 30K. It's 12.5 in a year.
Oh, really?
And that's Amco, bro. That's AA honk MCO. And then the other day, it was my time. It was time to pay another $900, and I was heading to golf, and all of a sudden I hear pop, wow, and I'm like, did I blow this transmission already again? And luckily it was an axle because I was ready to scrap it.
It's the first time anyone said luckily it was an axle. That's usually pretty bad.
It was $900 bad, but I guess it was an axle assembly, but still.
Yeah, I had this 1,000,000-mile Lexus thing. Yeah, and this project which we just finished, September issue Road and Track, yay, and at 924,000 miles the trans went. And so I took it to a place that rebuilt the trans, and it was, I think, $3,700. But they gave me a 30,000 mile transmission warranty on a car with 920,000 miles on it.
That's awesome.
I was like, yes, but also it still has 50,000 more after that, where it doesn't have a warranty.
And you put all those miles on yourself?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's it. I bought it with $897.
Oh, okay.
And I decided that if I didn't get it myself to 1,000,000 miles, that nobody was gonna.
Yeah.
And so I felt like the car deserved to make it. And so it took 4 years to put the last 100K on it. But we did it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And the engine had never been opened. Valve covers had never been off.
Oh, awesome.
It was the coolest. Genuine 1,000,000-mile engine had never been opened, and it ran nice and smooth. It was great. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
I got at 999,800 and change. I got pulled over doing 90 and a 60 in that car. And I talked my way out of it.
Were you just like, I'm surprised it could do it?
I was like, officer, look at this. I was like, I'm so close. You got to let me have this one. In fact, if you scroll down, Zach, to the photo gallery that accompanies that article, there's probably a picture that Dave took. Is there not a photo gallery? Maybe it's not. There was a picture of Dave took that's just me smiling and my face is lit up fucking blue from the police lights. Oh, man. So, where are you going on the road next?
Well, let's see. This week I'm going to Kansas City, where I'm from, because I have to make good. I donate shows to my parents' church, and they auction them off.
Nice.
And it helps the school.
Yeah.
I mean, I left the church a long time ago, but
Do you have to change your set for that?
No, that's kind of part of the deal. Like I say, I'm just going to do my club act. There can't be kids, or if there are, they're going to be scarred for life. and we've done it for like 6 or 7 years, and it's always been great. There was only one time the guy called like day before. He's like, "We can have kids, right?" And my dad's like, "No." And so I do that, and then playing in a golf tournament. And then fly back on Sunday.
That's nice.
Cool. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty great.
Did you notice that I wore this shirt intentionally?
I didn't know it was an intentional thing, but I definitely
before you knew it was intentional. What did you think about it? Were you like, oh god? I
was like, oh, I wonder if he's seen the bit. And then you were like, and then I was like, oh, he saw it today.
Yeah, no, I saw there. He has a bit about meeting like the and sons of Mumford and Sons. I'm not gonna do your bit, but them coming and playing beer pong at your parents' house at 2:00 in the morning on a Sunday. Truth or
true? All true.
That's awesome.
The only minute difference is that it was a homecoming dress, not a prom dress.
Okay, close enough.
But it's just prom's quicker.
That must have been. I'm sorry for this inside baseball for those who haven't seen A Man from Kansas yet. Go fucking see it. And you'll get
just real quick. I'm friends with Justin Verlander. They were he was in town. We have drinks. Meet the and sons by happenstance. And end up playing beer pong at my parents' house
at 2:00 on a Sunday morning.
Yeah.
Which is a setup for a good joke indeed.
At my parents' house, where my sister and I do not live there anymore, nor had we for quite some time. We were just in town, so that was a weird. And we were, we kept in touch with those guys for a long time. I'm still in touch with Verlander, but the Ant Sons guys kind of went away.
They're
and the last thing they said was, "Hey, we saw your bit," and that was it.
There's no follow up.
Oh, maybe they didn't. Maybe
no. There's nothing bad about that. It's a good bit.
Yeah,
it's funny.
I don't know what their deal is. They're British.
I saw them perform back in August. They were amazing.
I saw them a couple. We went to the show right at the night after that happened. They were performing in Kansas City, and they got us tickets.
They're really good live.
They're really good live. Yeah. It's a fun show. I didn't know any of the words. You don't really need to.
It doesn't matter
because every song there's a hey part, and you just get on that.
No, they put on a really good. I mean, I'm sure you can relate. I fly a lot. And I listen to like Mumford and Sons and my noise canceling shit when I fly. I drink some red wine and
there you go.
It's fucking great.
Yeah,
real nice.
I don't listen to the and Sons, but I have a cavalcade of things that I like to listen to.
What's your takeoff go to sleep playlist?
Oh, go to sleep. I just plug in earplugs and I'm done.
Oh, just
like it's so Pavlovian at this point. Like as soon as the jets fire up, I'm like.
I do that, and I always wake up right when the drink cart is next to me. Like my body's just gotten used to it, and it's like coffee. Now we do work.
I like what I do like to do is when I'm leaving the Admirals Club, walking to the gate. I like to play Curtis Mayfield Superfly.
Oh, just get a little rhythm in your walk.
And then I just strut.
Fucking diamond status.
People are just like, what is this guy about?
Yeah. It's a great song. Everyone should look it up if you don't know what it is.
Oh, Superfly. Yeah, it's just got a great groove to it.
It's like think Quentin Tarantino introducing a new character. That's the song.
Sure.
That's the song. You see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
No, I haven't seen it yet. I'm waiting for it to come out on the iTunes.
Good car guy cred.
Oh, okay.
Very automotively authentic.
Oh, I've not seen it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. Speaking of talking about cars, you see they came out with the Corvette convertible? They launched the Corvette convertible today, the new one. You see they put the engine in the back? That's a thing now.
Oh, yeah. It's a mid-engine now?
It's mid-engine now, and they launched the convertible, and the convertible is exactly the same as the coupe, except the Targa roof is motorized.
Is it a hard top or soft top?
It's a hard top.
Oh, awesome.
And so it'll look exactly the same as the coupe, except it's motorized, which is nice. It's kind of McLaren-y, actually.
Yeah.
It is very McLaren-y.
Yeah. The McLaren has the fastest roof, 11 seconds, because that's how McLaren rolls.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I love a good McLaren.
Well, as a Kansasan...
What is that, MP12C or whatever it is?
MP412C?
Yeah. That's a good one.
This is the new Vette, though, and it looks pretty rad. I had a go in it, and I can tell you about it off the show, but it's embargoed. so I can't talk about it until a certain date.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought maybe they couldn't get them in the country. I'm like, aren't they made here?
No. When they let people drive the cars early, and like, because magazines take a long time to like get made, they give everybody like a fighting chance by like, no matter when you drive it, if you drive it like now or like, you have to wait until the same day. And that way, because like competing for clicks and shit,
I get you.
Fucking bullshit. It sucks.
I get you.
It sucks.
It is very McLaren-y.
It is, especially from that angle.
Now, does the top, is it affected by the heat of the engine at all?
I mean,
is that a concern?
I don't think so. There's probably like some kind of a underneath the top cover. There's going to be some kind of a firewall protecting the roof from the engine.
Yeah.
Like there's also a trunk in there. Like in the
Get the fuck out of here.
The very back. Of the car.
It's for an ironing board.
Is literally you got to be able to fit a set of golf clubs because it's GM. It's like one of their like rules is like no matter what, golf clubs.
Golf clubs. Yeah.
So,
well, I mean.
So they put a trunk there too. So there's now a roof, an engine, and a trunk behind the drivers there. Crazy, right?
It's a big back. It's a big back end.
It is, but
I hope you like big butts.
And because there's that trunk, then they can't have the cool like center exhausts or like venting and shit that the McLarens have because you've got trunk there. It be what it be, man. But it's pretty fucking cool though. You got to admit. I mean, that's pretty rad for being a Corvette.
That's actually a really because I haven't been a fan of the Vette since the early 70s.
Like many people.
Yeah.
It's like late 60s really or cool. Bust.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't need a cocaine Vette. Which is like the 80s ones.
Yeah. 80s through really this year now.
Digital Dash, man, right?
Yeah. No, the 80s were the ultimate cocaine Vette cars. Like,
for sure.
And I mean, not that I'm one to talk. I had a DeLorean and now a fucking Countach.
They were good at the time, though, because they were slow, but the people that sold cocaine thought they were fast. They made a lot of noise, but you wouldn't really hurt that many people.
Unlike a Pantera,
right?
Where fucking Vince Neil would just sail one into a Volkswagen. The drummer from Def Leppard crashed a Vette though. Rick Allen.
Is that how he lost his arm?
That's how he lost the arm. He crashed a C4 Corvette.
You know what my buddy said? He was like, you can tell you weren't a very good drummer when you lose an arm and you really can't tell the difference.
Yeah, that's mean, kind of accurate. Also, you're kind of an amazing drummer if you can do that.
Dude, you're a much better. You learned how to drum real quick.
Yeah, look at that shit.
Learned how to foot tap.
That is how you lose an arm in a Corvette right there. Yeeks.
Curb punch.
I hate Pinterest, but...
Sorry, oh my God.
Jesus.
Our photos,
all right.
Forget.
Look up the photo yourself.
Look up the upside down Corvette of Rick Allen if you wrote some gruesome ass wreckage. The Pantera one is bad too. But Vince Neil, dude, there's no way Vince Neil's a good driver.
Oh, no.
No way.
No way.
Vince Neil on fucking 18 bottles of Jägermeister and an 8-ball, not a chance.
Anyone on that.
I love Panteras though, and the owners are just like, "Hey man, you like Ferraris?" They're like, "Yeah." They're like, "Do you like offshore powerboat racing?" They're like, we put them together.
I love like those 80s offshore powerboats that would like offshore powerboat racing developed to legitimize like the Coke runners. Like we need to be able to write this shit off, bro.
Oh, same as NASCAR. It's like NASCAR so many years later.
Yeah, and they're advertising like in like DuPont Registry and shit. You'll see like 1985 Apache 38, triple Merc 2000s, quote workboat.
Workboat.
Like, whoa, hashtag Coke Runner Provenance.
Yeah.
Like, fucking hell.
2 300-gallon secret compartments. I mean, fishing live wells. Something. You can put whatever you want in there, really.
Lead sheeting blocks X-rays.
Is that asbestos? No, it's not.
Do you like speed and racing, or do you just like cars as the idea of coolness and shit?
No, I like cars as... I mean, because to me, they're all functional pieces of art. I mean, especially the higher end ones.
Yeah.
But I mean, even the higher end mass produced ones, I think, are super pretty. I mean, you get into the Ford Classics, and they are what they are. But I just love cars.
Well, that's cool. No,
I don't really. But I'm not into
racing or anything like that.
Not at all.
No.
But I do love auto shows.
Whoa.
Like I'll go to those every day of the week.
Just to steal shift knobs?
Actually, I like auto shows because they make you realize that, no, you don't want that car.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted the Range Rover Evoque for a long time. Like, that was kind of, I was like, oh, it's a little tiny little Range Rover. And then I got in, I was like, I can't fit in this thing.
No.
It's too small.
What are you, 6'5"?
6'4".
Yeah, you have a very limited selection of vehicles
For
that'll
sure.
work for you, and a Range Rover Evoque is not
It's
one.
not one of them.
No, if you wanted to go heavy into a big Range Rover, then now we're talking.
Yeah, I like what was the one that I absolutely, it was the Mercedes, the 63, the big long coupe. But
the CL63?
Yeah, or I think it was an S63, yeah.
They changed the name. It's the same.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, S63, yeah, that's the shit right
the
there.
The AMG.
With the fucking massage seats.
It's basically a Mark 8, but Mercedes AMG'd up.
It's fucking shit. I can't unsee that.
It's just what it is. It's
really
a two-door coupe.
It's a Mark 8. It's Mercedes. That's fucked up. Can't unsee it.
Can't unsee it. But
do you remember when, who was it, Foose or Celine or Roush or somebody did up a Mark 8 and made it go fast?
And why aren't they reintroduced? Why aren't they, when's the Mark 9 coming out?
I don't know. I think that would actually be kind of awesome.
They
brought out the Mark 9 and it was like an EV. If it was electric, but it had like 1,000 pounds of torque and like height adjustable suspension and looked like an updated version of that, would be the shit.
It would be the shit.
Yeah.
What happened to the large two-door coupes?
I've just been talking about that. The personal luxury coupe is dead.
Is it?
It's dead.
I mean, it's right there.
No, I know, but I think it's dead. It's mostly dead because I'm driving that BMW i8 right now, which is not. It looks supercar-y, but it's not because it's not that fast.
Okay.
It's a personal luxury coupe, and like anything from the old Cutlass to the fucking LeBaron, the Cadillac Eldorado, like all these personal luxury coupes, like weren't fast. They were just comfy and like bigger than they needed to be for a coupe.
Oh, what was the Oldsmobile two-door?
Oh well, there was the fucking Cutlass.
There was the
Cutlass,
Cutlass.
Yeah. And like Eldorados. And
those two doors were huge.
Yeah. And I think the market is now those people buy SUVs.
Yeah.
And they drive them around by themselves. You know, that's a guy driving solo in a G-Wagon.
For sure.
And then the people who want a two-door car, they're gravitating towards, because the supercars back in the day when there was personal luxury coupes, the supercars, you couldn't drive those every day. Mm-hmm. Now, fucking supercars are easy. You could buy a Ferrari 488 and daily drive that shit in LA traffic and it would be easy.
Really?
So people just do that.
Do you think it's like a change back in the, I don't know, like 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, displaying kind of wealth was, I got a coupe, I got a big coupe, you know what I mean, the whole like coupe de ville, that kind of movement, that kind of mindset.
Yeah.
And now you can display wealth in so many other ways. Like if someone sees you in a big Cayenne or a Range Rover, they go, oh, that dude has a lot of money. Like it's the same brand cachet as driving like a coupe Mercedes.
I guess so. I guess I'm just not, because I had it in between the Mark 8 and the Volvo for 10 months. I owned a Yukon.
Yeah.
I rented one, fell in love with it. My uncle is a car dealer and had a good price on one, and so I bought it. But then I realized very quickly, I don't have 8 friends that I want to hang out with and drive them places.
Yeah, you become that guy.
You become that guy. And it was just like, and it was a pain in the ass to park. You got into fucking parking garages and that you couldn't, you're like, I can't go in this one.
Yeah.
And so that's why I went with the C70. I wanted to go with the complete opposite of
you always ping pong with the opposites. I went from like an Audi to a Hummer to a Mini to a Raptor to like a bung dung 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 dung, and now we're in the middle. But I think that's why G-Wagons are popular, because they have all that big SUV toughness, but the short wheelbase means you can pretty much park them places.
Yeah,
that I don't like driving.
Also, G-Wagon, $250,000 for a car is a tough one to take.
Yeah, well, that's what you do, is you buy one that's fucking 15 years old, exactly the same, for like $25,000.
And then the girl gets in it. She's like, "Where's the touch screen?" It's broken. It's in the shop.
The real cool shit is like the classic G-Wagons now, like the gray market ones that got imported in the 90s, like the 2-door soft tops. Like those are huge dollars, but they're the only ones that are like cool.
Kind of about an old pickup too.
Yep.
Yeah.
LA, a C10, like flare side or something.
For sure.
the perfect cruiser.
It'd be a fun one.
Yeah.
And then that's one of those ones that breaks down. You're like, well, I got to go to a AutoZone, but I'll get it. I'll be back.
Yeah. And
borrow a set of pliers. You can fix anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all you need is like a modern like radiator and electric fan setup and some disc brakes to deal with LA. And you're good.
Yeah. And then a new sound system.
Easy. That's
for
easy.
sure.
That's easy. Do you have a stereo system you like?
Well, just because I've had that Volvo for so long, and that sound system's so amazing.
Oh, it's the standard one.
Yeah, but it was like the
super duper.
The super duper one.
Who did Volvo's? What company?
Dyne Audio or something.
Dyne Audio. Yeah.
And it's surround, like I got a center channel and I think I have 2 8s in the back.
Nice.
And yeah, it'll buzz.
We're actually sort of sponsored by Clarion, you know them, so they hook it up. I have a Mitsubishi Delica, you know, it's like a weird Japanese van.
Okay.
That I got imported from Japan. It's like right-hand drive and shit, and they hooked up the stereo for it. Zach will find you a picture of it. It's the coolest. My wife's driving it right now, but we're gonna make it my airport shuttle for my car storage thing. It's gonna be the coolest airport shuttle ever. There it is. It's a little weird Japanese van.
Oh, that is cool looking.
And it's got short wheelbase, so it's easy to park.
And it looks like a Vanagon.
Kind of, yeah.
A little
and
bit.
actually, it's in terms of function, it's a Japanese Vanagon because it's 4x4.
Oh, okay.
It's mid-engine, turbo, diesel, 4x4.
So meaning you can shift out of it if you want.
Yeah.
That's
it's got
awesome.
2 4 high and 4 low. It's got like on a lever.
That short wheelbase.
Hell yeah.
Doesn't fuck with you.
I mean, define fuck with.
Don't go 90 miles an hour.
How stable is it?
Yeah, for LA.
Okay.
LA, I mean, you know, I'm not going on a racetrack with it. It's
For
fine
sure.
going into straight lines.
Okay.
You're driving like 2 miles in it, really.
Yeah, no,
Like
it's just a
shop
run
to
around,
airport.
fuck around in LA.
But you
LA
make a
thing.
hard right.
I had to explain to my wife that the things she did in her Volvo V60R last year, she can't quite do in this.
Yeah.
But she understands, and it's fine. It's not a paragon of handling. It has 85 horsepower. Also, it's not fast.
Oh, so hills are tough.
LA's pretty flat. It's cool.
And what the fuck are you? Maybe in
Where
Venice.
I live on the
Venice
west
is
side.
super flat.
I
Yeah.
don't go over the hills here. I built a studio to get people to come over the hill to me.
Good call.
Yeah, no. But you've got it right with the skateboard though. Not dealing with the traffic or finding a way around traffic is the key to this fucking city.
Oh, it really is, and not to mention it's just fun. I mean, I fell today and didn't give 2 fucks. I was like, this hurts, but I'm not.
But not enough
I'm
to
not
put a
gonna
helmet
not
on.
do it. Yeah.
Have you been skateboarding for a long time?
I've been skateboarding for the length that I've had this thing.
Oh,
Really?
okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You learned to skateboard on
Well, I
this?
skated as a kid.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
that counts.
all right.
Like, but I hadn't skated since I was 13, 14.
Okay.
And then I dated a girl. She had one, and I was like, well, this thing could be life changing.
Yeah.
And they have like a 14-day no questions asked guarantee. I was like, fuck it. The moment I stood on this thing and it went, I was like, yeah, we're done here. We are absolutely done here.
Do you ride on the sidewalk or bike lane?
Both. Just depends on,
How fucked
if
the
you're on
sidewalk
like
is.
Santa Monica Boulevard, I'm on the sidewalk because there is no bike lane. But I try to take side streets as much as I can.
Yeah.
Because also the side streets are usually better paved.
Yeah.
And so I found the way to like where it's nice, smooth sailing.
Yeah, you really need to like study every crack in the pavement and make like a fucking route book.
Yeah.
That's why I was so mad at myself. I've gone over that bump 1,000 times. It just snuck up on me today.
These guys, Vintage Electric, gave me an electric bicycle that was like a really nice one. It was like really nice handmade one. It's expensive, and they let me borrow it for like a month, and it fucking changed my life too.
Yeah.
And I wanted one so bad. It goes like 30. That was it. It goes like 35 miles an hour. It's
Oh,
got
and they look cool too.
Yeah, it looks rad.
Oh, that looks rad.
Yeah, the only downside is because we have this second floor studio here, it weighs 85 pounds. And so carrying it up the stairs, I literally like threw my fucking back out. I actually, what are the intercostal? I literally like tore an intercostal rib muscle because I carried like over it and carried up the stairs like an asshole.
That's the problem with the electric bikes is
It's
they're
like
really
$5,000.
heavy.
I didn't want to leave it outside.
Yeah,
It's
no, I
shady,
understand.
You know?
Totally.
But riding that, dude, you can, because even more so than a skateboard. On that, you can be a bicycle, you can be a pedestrian, you can be a motorcycle if you want, because it's fucking fast.
Yeah.
35's quick on a bicycle.
Dude, you find out how quick that is when it stops being under you. When you're in midair, you're like, this is fast. Ow, ow, ow.
Yup. My trainer, I have a trainer because I work out a lot, and his transmission blew in his fucking piece of shit Mazda CX something. It's an old one. It's fucking shanty. But anyway, I have a Yamaha Zuma scooter, 125. That's my method of getting around traffic, is a scooter. My house to your house, like 20 minutes on a Friday. It's the
nice.
Jam. And but I let him borrow it because he kind of knows how to ride, and like his car's broken. So and if he doesn't have transportation, it means I have to go across town and train with him instead of him coming and training at my house. So I gave him the scooter, and he left my house in my like old helmet and just shorts and a cut off shirt. Like, and I was like, oh, please don't fucking road rash yourself. Like,
yeah,
you have a lot of
because he's huge.
He has a lot of skin.
It's like putting a shipping pod on the scooter, just like this block.
And then I saw him ride away, and I've never seen another person on my scooter before. And he's big, but I think I might be bigger. And I watched him ride away, and I went, he looks fucking stupid on that. Do I look that stupid on that?
Nah.
Fuck!
No, I don't look that. I look great.
No, I look cool on the scooter.
I look cool as fuck with this
I look
helmet.
like I'm delivering Chinese food on the scooter, which is great.
Everyone's like, can I get a Rangoon?
It gets me the sympathy because I can beat anyone in a drag race that doesn't know I'm racing them, which is brilliant. And when you have 9 horsepower to work with, I recommend the scooter. I really do.
Yeah,
If you wanted to go from driving your C70 once a week to once every 3 weeks,
I don't think it could handle. Like, I'm really afraid. Like, I even go start. I know it's not an old car, but I still go start it if I haven't driven it for a week. Just I'm afraid the oil's gonna just.
No, that's a good habit to be in.
Yeah,
you should. It's a good habit. Yeah, you guys. I drive. I mean, my old cars get driven at least once a week.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they run like garbage.
For sure.
I mean, they're a lot older than yours, but yeah, I can tell with the red car. I can tell distinctly if it's been 1 day, 5 days, 10 days, or like 20 days, how the car behaves when I start it.
Yeah.
The 2 days in a row, the second day, oh, the best. It's so happy. Couldn't be happier. 3 weeks it sits, it's like pop, 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 pop. Like, what the fuck? And then it's fine, but it's like fuck you.
It's like if you don't stretch for 3 weeks when you're like 40, 30, 20, teenager, same thing.
For sure.
Yeah. Hey, if we got folks that are live, get in the. Do we have any super chat shit? Oh, a couple. Get in there if you want to talk cars. We got a couple questions from folks.
Okay.
Do you want to plug anything?
Just the specials on Amazon Prime. A man from all my specials are on Amazon Prime.
Oh, are they?
I think so.
I bought A Man from Kansas on iTunes.
Well,
so
God bless you,
there
sir.
you go.
Thank you.
I give to the cause.
And then I have a podcast called the 1 Millionth Podcast.
Oh yeah, with your sister.
With my sister, and we just started doing that, and we're about 15 episodes in. We're having a good time.
How's it going?
It's going real well.
Are you enjoying it?
Well, I'm very much, because it's basically a thing where Andy and I hang out anyway, and so I was like, this should just be the podcast.
That's how we started doing this.
And
exactly.
So we do it in my living room. We're smoking weed throughout. Like there's you can hear bong rips going on during it. Mm-hmm. It's basically us doing morning radio. Like we talk about our weekends, and then we just bring light topics in to talk about and make fun of.
Can I come do it?
Absolutely. We haven't had guests yet.
Oh, you haven't?
But when we do,
I'll bring my own mic.
You'll definitely be on the list.
We have extra gear.
Oh, for sure.
Actually, seriously, we have a lot of extra gear. If your gear situation needs upgrading, I can hook you up.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I took my sister car shopping because she was looking at a new car, and it was right after the Volkswagen,
diesel
the
thing?
emissions thing. And so you could get a Passat for like $14,000 or something. I'm looking at my sister. I'm like, get this fucking car. And she bought a goddamn Jeep Patriot. Oh my God. I've never been more disappointed. And like, she's like one of those reviews. This is when I realized people only believe what the fuck they want to believe. She's all about reviews. And every review said, meh. And it's underpowered. It's loud as fuck.
I think it's got a 4-speed.
Bad gas mileage and slow
and terrible,
ugly inside and out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, or you can have a fucking Volkswagen that will last forever and is much more sleek. And she was like, I like to be up high. And I'm just like, we're done here. I'm gonna go home.
Actually, I might argue, maybe a little devil's advocate, but I think that Patriot will outlast the Volkswagen in sheer technical terms. Like the Patriot's worse by far.
Yeah.
But it'll be that level of bad for a very long time.
The Patriot
it'll never let you down.
No. It could do the 9-hour
keep you
drive.
miserable and getting there for a very long time. You'll have so much back pain from that seat because it just won't die.
People love it. I don't get it. She loves it too. She's like, I love my Patriot.
You know what?
I'm like, I don't fucking get me out of this thing.
That's what's weird about people, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's people, like, I feel like I have a very refined taste, and I go, how the fuck did you end up in that? And they think, for whatever reason, that it's the greatest, but, like, that's why.
Yeah. You're like, okay, I'll shut up.
That's why whenever people ask for car advice, it's like, all I ever want is for you to be happy with it. They're like, well, what would you do? I'm like, you are not fucking me.
Yeah.
What would I do? I'd drive a 1987 911 and put big fucking off-road tires on it. That's what I do. Are you going to do that? No. Then you should do what makes you happy.
For sure. Just buy the Prius. We all know you're going to get it. Just go get it.
You know, I have a thing I'm a little embarrassed to say, which is I went to a music festival over the weekend. Not embarrassed about that. Eddie Vedder killed it. Chili Peppers were good. Nathaniel Rateliff, fucking hell can that guy perform.
Oh, yeah, that's a great show.
That guy kills it. You know that guy?
Mm-mm.
He's Southern.
It's
son of a bitch. Give me a drink.
Yeah, Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats.
They are amazing.
Yeah.
Their set, Ohana Festival, their set was killed it. But I went with Marty, the shaman, and we took his Prius. Yeah. And I drove home because I didn't drink the second night. Hannah drove us home because I got drunk the first night. But I drove his Prius 2 hours home, and I was very relaxed when we got home, and it was actually a really pleasant experience. It's a brand new Prius. And
okay.
You know, 85 on the fucking 405 for an hour and a half, and
they're smooth.
Quiet,
the new generation is way better
not
than the
so
last
bad.
one. Way better.
They've upped them up a little bit.
Yeah,
It's
they
better.
are.
I mean, there's obviously like cheapness to it.
For sure.
Like we were on the way down, it was hot as balls because there's no AC vents in the rear.
Oh.
Yeah, so like just cheapness, which I think, in fairness, I think are like
I'm sure that's an option.
I think rear AC vents are optional, which is shanty, but it's a low point of entry for the Prius. But I had to say, I overall, like as an appliance, not bad. Not bad. I mean, it's really not. I mean,
All
look,
right.
I got a $167,000 BMW outside that looks fast and isn't.
And isn't.
And is really hard to get in and out of. But
It looks like it.
It's hard. Yeah, when we go outside, you can fuck with it. It has these crazy wide sills you have to do this ridiculous climb over.
Really?
Yeah, it's BMW's first carbon tubbed car.
Okay.
And I'm not sure why the sills are that wide. Maybe that's a reason structurally or whatever, but it's clearly their first effort at this sort of thing, whereas McLaren, who's been doing this for a long time, has made the sills really tight and narrow, and those cars are super easy to get in and out of now.
Have you seen I'm sure you've had to have seen the video of the big dude getting out of the Lambo?
Oh my God,
At the gas station.
hysterical.
Oh, so funny.
The guy's like 300 pounds, right?
The guy's 300 pounds, and
least.
they even starts yelling at the guy recording him. Yeah.
I shouldn't make fun of people like that because I am not graceful.
But also, man, it's like, if you're going to spend that kind of money on a car, get one that fucking you fit in, bro.
My little red car, I have to take my shoes off to drive.
Okay.
And I wear, like, because I have shitty circulation, I wear compression socks everywhere. I don't give a fuck. I'm fine with that.
Do what you need to do.
So I roll up in that car, which draws all kind of eyes, pop the door, put my New Balances on the ground, get out with my compression socks, and put my fucking New Balance on like Mr. Rogers. Like, da-da-da-da.
You know, the people in the restaurant going, this guy doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's really funny.
This guy doesn't give. He's got compression socks on. He don't give a shit.
This is a guy who's having trouble getting out of an BMW i8.
It's the i8. It is the i8. It's not even
There's
a
both.
Lambo.
No, there's a Lambo one also.
Oh, okay, cool. That actually, is a remarkably accurate representation of how you have to get out of this car.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty gnarly. Like, I park it when I get home. I park it in my garage with the top down, and just because it's easier to, like, because I got the convertible one outside, so I hop out.
Oh, okay.
Which, as opposed to this, which is a coupe where this gentleman is just fucked. Just fucked.
You got to buy the car that's right
that
for
guy
you.
does not have the core strength to get out of that position.
No. I had a job back in the day delivering cars with a trailer, with a truck and trailer, and when you do that, in a lot of the cars, you got to climb out the window. So, like, imagine me climbing out the window of a fucking Gallardo inside of a trailer. I mean, it's like a sperm whale giving birth or something. Fucking ridiculous.
You got to lube up.
Yeah. And you're like, you take your shoes off, but you're like stepping on the dash. It's just a mess. It's terrible. Let's go to the audience. Do we have anything? There we go. We got a few from them. Pop in so I can read. Oh, interesting. Okay. Miguel wants to know. Chris, I just did something. Road and Track Performance Car of the Year test, which I took part of. And we talked about last week. Those were all the pictures that you were commenting on. I believe. And Miguel wants to know: is there a thought on having a most important car of the year alongside the performance car of the year? And then he cites examples like Miura, Willys, CJ, Tesla, Prius, game changers. I think
Motor Trend does that. They do like a car of the year. They gave it to Tesla a couple years ago.
I think Motor Trend does do a car of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I think that kind of is what Motor Trend does. I mean,
I see what he's saying. You can separate
test.
fast driving thing from most important. It probably would just have to take a vote. You would need like a test for it.
The examples he cites have like a decade in between each one. Is there enough important cars every year that you can have a most important car of the year?
No, I don't think so.
There's like one significant car that comes out
every like 5 or 10
years. Yeah. You can do it once a decade maybe. But then you'd have to convince a new editor of Road and Track every single time. Sorry.
Most of the magazines.
Let's see. Proto Roll says my budget is $25,000. I want something sporty that I can drive on the track. I'm leaning towards a 2017 Mustang GT. I'm a big guy, so nothing too small, and I'll be testing suggestions at CarMax. Yeah, Mustangs are great. 2017s are good. If you're going on the track, not wheels necessarily, but tires, brake pads, brake fluid.
Diff cooler, if that's available.
I think is that an option? Yeah, make sure if you can get a performance pack or a track pack, whatever they called it. That would be
track
nice.
pack, definitely worth it.
Yeah, and then go some pads and fluid, but also nothing really new under the sun. Camaros, get a lot for $25K in a Camaro. You might even be able to get an old ZL1, like a 2013 ZL1 might be in the.
You could probably get an old 1LE package.
Yeah,
I don't know which, maybe V6, maybe V8, but either way, those are great, and they can just take track abuse all day long.
25K. What else fits if you're tall or big? Those are probably the best. Corvette.
Usual thing.
Yeah.
C5, C6.
That's probably where nothing new under the sun there, unfortunately. Chris, you were robbed in LCS. Did you? Oh, Last Comic Standing. Yeah. Did you ever learn to poop and not pee?
No, you can't do that.
That is very difficult.
Why can you sneeze with your eyes open?
It's definitely true.
Yeah.
Can people do that?
I mean, you'd literally have to hold on to your
I had
dick.
to do that when I went on a camping rafting trip, and everyone had to shit in like an ammo can, and they were like, you cannot pee in this. And we're like, why? Like, because as it sits over a week, it will create like ammonia gases and eventually will explode on the boat if you mix piss and shit. And it was very difficult. You had to like pee first and then mentally like really, really focus.
Oh my God.
And I think they helped instill the fear of like, this would explode on the boat. So your brain is like, don't do it. Don't be the person that makes shit explode all over everybody in the boat. But it was very hard.
But also party is like, that'd be really funny. Like 3 years later, that'd be really funny.
If I survive this, I'll have at least 4 minutes.
What kind of story do we have here? And how do they know it's me?
Yeah.
Yeah, very true.
That's true.
I'm going to blame it on Tammy. She pees everywhere.
Ryukachu says, check out the Dualtron X real quick. Imagine your scooter, but coilovers and a 60-mile-an-hour top speed. Zach, can you find a picture of the Dualtron X?
Do you need to be doing 60 on a scooter?
Yeah. You ride some on the highway.
No,
I wouldn't ride this on the highway.
No, this is like a scooter. Like this is like a bird scooter. This
what the fuck?
Oh, don't do 60
$6,000
on this.
for one of these? Get the fuck out of here, dude. No thanks.
Oh,
no.
You're gonna get really hurt.
No, $6,000 buys you a nice Japanese motorcycle of a recent vintage.
Yeah.
This thing is,
or 3 or 2 Vespas.
Yeah, this thing looks like you need to wear full leathers to ride it, Frank.
That looks like it's
60.
out of Mad Max.
Does that actually have?
It says shocks.
Does that have cantilevered steering?
Yes. Oh. I don't know. It has cantilever suspension.
That's
which is weird.
Pretty fucking nuts. I don't know how rich you have to be to burn $6,000 on something like that, but I'm not that rich. But that's pretty rad. But you die on it.
Yeah. You don't want to do
60?
No.
Top speed 60 miles an hour. Weight 150 pounds. Tires 13 by 5.
I mean, that's pretty big. 13
Jeez.
is about Vespa sized, right? That's my Vespa tires are probably 17 or so. I don't know, but I think you die on that.
Yeah,
for sure you die on that.
1,000%. Lastly, Cody's R32 Cody says, I have a Porsche 944 and a C4 Corvette LT1, second gen. Selling both for a C6 Corvette LS3 or same year Cayman S on Minnesota roads. I want a comfy cruiser for 4+ hour road trips, weekend back roads, and good in the city. Okay, fair question. What kind of experience do you want to have? Do you want to have a mid-engine experience or a front-engine experience? These are not the same thing. They just have a different feel. You know, do you want brutish, torquey horsepower or sort of rev zingy finesse, kind of a light touch? The Cayman will probably ride better. Although vets make good road trip cars, they hold more. Mm-hmm. They get good fuel economy.
Really good fuel economy.
Do they still get real hot near your feet?
The transmission tunnel gets really hot.
Yeah,
it does. Yeah,
I remember
it does. Actually,
my friend's dad had a 70 Stingray, and we'd ride around that. And 8 minutes into it, I'm like, I need to wipe off my feet. My feet are so sweaty.
Yeah, there's a thing. When I had a Corvette back in the day, they take off the covering and shit over the transmission tunnel, and they wrap it in that Dynamat stuff.
Yeah,
that helps a lot.
Oh, okay.
But of course, they don't just do that.
Well, in the 70s, it was just like, put your asbestos shoes back on.
Yeah. After 20 years of this, not that they would do that, and now the engine's in the back, so now it's not going to be a problem anymore.
Oh yeah,
now
the
whole deal's behind you, so your feet stay chilling. I think you'd have a great time with either of these. I think it just really depends on the experience you want. The Vet is faster. The Cayman is screwed together tighter.
Easier to I think maneuver in a city as well, just because it's small. It feels smaller, and the front visibility is so good. I don't know, parking a Corvette in a city if it's low.
That's true.
It's a little more difficult.
Corvettes scrape
because they have that lower plastic thing that's way back in the nose.
Yeah. If it was me, I'd probably get the Cayman, but your mileage may vary. Lastly, John O. Twist. Oh, yeah, so the C8 embargo's still up, and he said, is there any silence I'd like to be quoted on while the embargo's up? I'm allowed to talk about the car, just not how it drives.
Oh, okay.
So I can say the engine's in the back, it has 495 horsepower. I can say the seats are comfortable. I can say that I fit in it with a helmet on.
Yeah.
But I can't say anything about how it drives.
Okay. I
can talk about how it looks, but we did. That was a thing. No, I don't want to be quoted on my silence. I think he may, is he looking for a smile? That's what there was some analysis. I got, there's a trick to get around these embargoes, right? You still want to make some content. So I did a video called Just the Noise, which is just me silently driving the new Corvette around the new racetrack so you can see how it moves and listen to the engine.
Yeah.
And then there was some real analysis on the Corvette forums about, did I smile enough at the end of the video?
Wow.
Did I react enough? And what they don't know was that I intentionally didn't want any kind of facial expression to be interpreted as a review, so I fucking straight-faced it. So any analysis is based on an intentional facial expression.
You got to wear a mask next time.
I also feel like the people that are watching those videos that closely probably can't afford that car.
Some of them absolutely can.
Really?
If there's one thing I have learned in the world of cars, it's that people that you in your head go, don't you fucking have anything better to do?
Yeah.
Nope.
Nope.
They do not. Doesn't matter how fucking rich they are, they got time to fight on the internet.
Well, and the more rich they are, I feel like the more time they have. Because their money's just making money.
Definitely.
Yeah. Dividends. They got time. Dick dividends.
I'm literally collecting interest while I argue with you.
Last one. We just got another one at the end.
This is the third last one.
I'm sorry. They keep coming in.
I just think it's hilarious.
I say last one, and then another one comes in. And are you in a rush? You got another 30 seconds?
I'm not going anywhere. This is rush hour.
Are you working tonight?
Yeah, I got a 10:30 at Comedy Store.
Are you working at the store on Friday the 12th, do you think? I don't know. You're not required to know.
Probably,
Because I'm coming to the store on Friday the 12th. I'll answer this question. Look at that one. Right. Falling Platypus owns a 3.2 Carrera that is semi-outlaw, and the significant other doesn't really enjoy it, especially for road trips. Something we can both enjoy is faster and can go to the track to drive. I'm thinking C8. I can't tell you about the C8, brother. I can't tell you about the C8. If you think you might like the C8 based on that, buy one. I don't know. I can't tell. But like,
ask the question again in 2 weeks.
This dude has an old Porsche, and his lady doesn't like it, or man, whatever it is, and buy a newer Porsche. I mean, if you've got the scratch, like if you like 911s, like
they look
new
the exact
911s
same.
are very fun, very fast. Every time my wife gets a new 911, it's like a luxury car, so she's happy.
Right? Like what doesn't your significant other enjoy about that car? Because is it too
old, loud,
or loud or expensive looking? I mean, do you want a Miata, or do you want a Focus ST, or there's a lot of gray area there.
Yeah,
lots of things will be faster than that.
The 12th is a Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Friday the 11th, I will be there most likely.
Right.
Saturday the 12th, I think I'm going to go to Vegas.
I don't blame you.
I've been there so much lately, but I don't mind it.
For work or for play or for both? Where do you work, Brad? What's his name?
Kimmel's.
Oh yeah, how is that club?
It's amazing.
Is it?
It's the best club. And granted, I haven't done Brad Garrett's or the Comedy Cellar or any of them, but of all the Vegas experiences I've had, which are many, this is the best one I've ever had.
Oh, cool!
Yeah,
what place?
It's in the Link. It's in that fake street between the Link and the Flamingo.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And it's so I'm gonna go there. My friend's actually playing at Kimmel's, and I got a free room when I need one. So.
Solid,
sweet.
Yeah.
What do you look for in a room? What's a good room for you?
I mean, I don't. A big giveaway for a bad room is when the air conditioner. It's not a thermostat. Like you go over to like the machine, the actual air conditioner itself. But in Vegas, I try. I'm lucky I have a friend at the MGM, and those are some of the nicest rooms in Vegas.
I'm in a good comedy room. Sorry.
Oh, a good comedy room.
You're correct on the thermostat in the hotel as well.
Same thing for a comedy room.
Right, yeah. If you go to a comedy room and it's like a stand-up AC.
That they treat you, they treat you well. They treat the customers well. They just kind of get that it's not a huge deal. Like you get into some clubs and they're just like, oh, we have to start the show on time or we're going to freak out. I'm like, no one gives a fuck. Like, no one's going to leave at 8:03. Let's chill out. It's just jokes. But on the same point, I want them to give a shit enough to where, like, if I have to deal with someone with the audience, they're on that. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
do you have a favorite club other than Kimmel's in Vegas?
Punchline San Francisco is great and amazing. The Comedy Store is always great. There's a lot of weird ones, like Comedy Off Broadway in Lexington, Hilarities in Cleveland, all great clubs.
Huh.
Yeah,
I think I've seen the best shows I've ever seen performed at the Comedy Store. I think is like a home of fucking.
It's just
heavy hitting sets,
especially these days, man. It's just everybody who's anybody's there.
Yeah,
and it's.
Tickets are cheap. That's a fucking amazing
to see those people.
Like $20 night or whatever.
It's a $20 ticket, $25 sit closer, and then who the fuck knows gonna show up?
Yeah,
like on any given night, it could be David Spade or who showed up the other night.
The Wayans brothers.
Wayans brothers are doing it. Eddie Murphy, if he's actually going to start doing comedy again.
Do you think he is?
There's no way he won't be at the store.
Have you heard? What is the rumor? I heard Seinfeld talked him into doing stand up again.
Well,
but
Netflix gave him $70 million or whatever, but he still has to.
Eddie, you have 12 kids. How much is it going to take to do it?
Also, and the last thing that dude needs is money.
Yeah,
he's got a shit ton of money. He's one of the dudes on the internet, seeing if you're smiling, probably. So,
motherfucker.
Yeah.
But he also,
hey, man.
he also knows, like, because I watched the Seinfeld thing, and he knows that he can't just show up and not be.
Yeah.
And he also knows that he's got to put the time in to get there.
Yeah.
So, but again, the Comedy Store, Chappelle shows up all the time.
Yeah.
And it's just, I remember I saw Sandler there in front of 16 people when he was warming up for Funny.
That must have been kind of interesting.
His new special is really funny, and it's cool the way they stitched it together with like starting out and then growing to like the big theater at the end of it.
Yeah,
really, really cool.
I haven't seen it, but I've heard it's amazing.
It's
and
really good.
It's really different.
As soon as you tell me you're
really
going to
funny.
cry, I'm already out. I'm not really into emotions.
Yeah. We just got tickets to see Judah Friedlander next week. I'm stoked on.
Oh, that'll be fun. He's a cool dude.
His special
He's a
was
real nice guy.
hysterical. It was weird, man. It was great.
So good.
Yeah.
Where's he at?
Dynasty Typewriter Theater
for sure.
of all places.
Yeah. That's a very alty place.
Dude, they're doing, you gotta see it. I'll plug them. They're doing a Fast and the Furious musical parody.
Oh,
and I
hilarious.
went to see it with my wife, and it rules.
Oh, okay.
It was really fucking funny.
Okay.
I swear to God. You don't even have to know that much about the movies. But it's like the Team America of Fast and the Furious.
Oh, that's hilarious.
The writing is really good. And I booked the creators who are actors in the show also and wrote it on this show to come and talk about it.
Oh, cool.
Because me and Hannah had such a fucking good time. It was super, super funny. You should go see it at Dynasty Type. What's the next date? What does it say there? Up there, Saturday.
That's June 15th. That's old. They don't do a lot of dates. I've been following them on Instagram, and they do like one show a month.
Yeah, they don't. I think they only meant to do one, and then people kept coming and wanting to do more, so they just keep adding one more and one more and one more. But it's fucking funny. Anyway, that's our show.
Well, that was awesome.
It was good. Thanks for coming down, Chris.
Literally anytime.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
You are
Open
fucking
seat.
open seat, my friend.
Cool, man. Yeah, I will talk cars all day, and girls hate it when I try.
That's why our audience is 99% men. It be what it be.
Dude,
it's easy to sell them razors.
I dated a girl that worked for Cadillac, and I was like, "Oh, so we can watch Top Gear?" And she's like, "No, I don't want to talk about work at home." And I'm like, "God damn it,
Can't fucking win." Yeah. That's why I used to date a car girl, and it was not good. It was overwhelming. My wife couldn't give less of a shit, but she likes when I bring home something interesting.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. She's appreciative. That is our show. I have absolutely no idea what the schedule looks like, but I'll post about it on the social media. Where can they find you?
At I am Chris Porter on Instagram and Twitter. My comedy dates are at chrisportercomedy.com. And where will I be? In 2 weeks, I will be somewhere.
Vegas?
Ontario?
Yeah, I think that is the next
California?
gig. I'm supposed to be doing a charity gig, but I just found out it's in Indianapolis, but I just found out it's iffy. Yeah, I will be in Ontario October 24th.
All right. And in Vegas, maybe? Probably.
Vegas, October 12th for sure.
Nice.
Probably doing a guest spot at Kimmel's.
And get his specials on Amazon Prime. A Man from Kansas and Ugly and Angry.
Yeah, don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick. Buy that shit. Don't fucking pirate it. Can you even pirate anything anymore?
Yeah, you can pirate everything. And you can,
People still do
pirate it as long as you pirate it with friends and show it to people.
And then bring people to
And
the
then go to the
comedy
live
club.
show.
And then go to the live show.
And then go to the
Chris
live
comes to
show
town.
and buy a record.
All right, I'll check my dates, but I probably will see you this weekend at the store if you're going to be there on Friday. I think it might be Friday. I don't know.
Good.
That's our show, folks. The Smoking Tire Podcast is powered by Shout Engine. Get your own damn podcast at shoutengine.com. Or also the millionth podcast.
The 1 millionth
1 millionth podcast. There we go. It's easy. All you need is a microphone, a connection to the internet, and ideally something to say. Good night, everybody.